Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Na'Vi versus Team Secret in the Epic League. We saw Na'Vi take that first game. It was definitely a very even matchup. I mean, both teams, it was very back and forth for large portions of the game. The one real swinging factor was when Martu got that Divine Rapier, died twice once he had the Aegis, and then just gave that over for V-Tune as the Slark. And it was really just an uphill struggle from that point onwards. Na'Vi just ran away with the game. And just kept the pressure going. Even when Martu managed to build his second Divine Rapier, it wasn't enough. V-Tune was just too big at that point for them to deal with. Sure enough, they just closed out the game as a result. It was a very impressive show. So we'll see if they're able to do that again. And, well, not obviously the same way, but to keep that energy going and try and take this series 2-0 against Secret. Or maybe if Secret are going to try and bounce back now, push on to a game 3. Maybe not just give away 3 Divine Rapiers that they've been doing in their previous matches. Seems to be a little bit of a recurring trend for them right now. So we'll see if they're going to swap their strats up. But Na'Vi going to lead up with the Io pickup. There is going to be that potential for the Omni Sven. They had the chance to do it in the previous game. They decided against it. They might be doing it again. They've grabbed the Sven now. I mean, they've seen the Io pickups, which is more guaranteed to be that 5 roll. Also, the Slardar pick is the 3, so that's probably going to be Na'Vi's off lane with Roger and Generals pairing there. So Secret got the Sven. Are they going to go for the Omni? That combo which they've been rolling as of late, and they will go for it again. They want to go for a bit more comfortable this time, something which they know works. I'm not saying what they had in the previous game didn't work. It did work, sort of. It was just all the damage that was coming out from the side of Secret was all on Martu's hands. Just the Timbersaw and the Dragon Knight, sure, they're going to be these tanky people running around, making a bit of space in the team fights, but when it actually comes down to killing people, it was pretty much all on the PA. So we'll see if they're going to be a little bit more diverse in this scenario. Maybe pick up a couple of other calls which can actually assist the Sven in actually dealing a bit of damage. We'll have to wait and see. But the Na'Vi with the Io Slardar pairing, it has been run a few times before in the past by them, and it's always worked to great effect. Just the Slardar is one of those heroes which really benefits from the overcharge attack speed bonus, able to get those bashes out super quick and melting whoever does get trapped. When Na'Vi take away the Underlords, immediately ban of the PA as well from side of Secret. Obviously, you see PA just not like a hard counter to a Sven, but as I've said many times before, force them to build that MKB. Or unless you just go for the big brain strat of you don't even hit the PA, you just hit people near the PA and let the cleave damage do the work. It can also work, especially if you've got a Magnus in your team with the Empower onto the cleave. You actually do more damage to the people around you than the actual target you hit him. But obviously that's not going to be available to them. It was Na'Vi's first ban. Now once again, Na'Vi just focusing all their bans in the second phase towards Zai. Secret focusing all their bans towards V-Tune. Take away the PA, the Drow. There is the Mars and the Phoenix still in the pool, but obviously that's not going to happen this time, as they've already got the Io and the Slardar. So we're not going to see that pairing again, even though it definitely works in their previous matchup. So we'll see what Na'Vi is going to take up for their final ban here. If they're going to keep this trend going and focusing all of it towards Zai, and surely enough they will. Take away his Tide Hunter as well. Just heavily trying to limit the off-lane's hero pool as much as they can. There is still the Timbersaw left if they wanted to try and go for that sort of route again. I mean, Zai did a pretty good job in that previous game. I think he only had like 1 death. Well, he probably had 2 at the very end, but it took him a very, very long time before Na'Vi finally managed to get that first kill onto him. It He's always just like a real beefy boy running around in these team fights. But we might seem to see him pick up something a little bit different this time. Maybe the Enigma? Another hero that provides a nice amount of nice bit of a bonus in the team fights with that big black hole. We'll have to wait and see. Still got all of their reserve time left to play with. Not touched it as of yet. Well, they have now, but we'll see what they're going to grab for their third hero. Probably going to be Yapsor's fourth hero, and then you can leave to see what the potential support pickup is out on the side of Na'Vi before grabbing your core, just in case. Gives us a little bit of extra wiggle room for Na'Vi to try and go for a better counter pick. We might see him start to steer away from the Mirana. They've been picking up quite a lot lately, and I don't know, it just felt like it's always falling a little bit short. Just couldn't quite make the space in the laning phase that it normally wants to. I think once again in that previous game, Yapsor did not get a single successful gank off onto Iceberg in the mid. So instead, Secret actually grabbed the Leshrac. So this is going to be an off-lane Leshrac for Zai, or are they going to run this in the mid lane for Nisha? That's going to be the real question. If it's leaving us guessing, it means it's probably leaving Na'Vi guessing as well. So you're going to have to try and plan accordingly. Want to try and leave it open enough to have the possibility of covering the off lane and the mid lane going up against this Lesh. Normally when you see Lesh, people tend to pick up like a Zeus, a hero which can keep their distance away from the Leshrac whilst being able to farm up and providing a lot of their damage from afar in the team fights. But Na'Vi actually going to pick up the Phoenix once again. So will they put this into the hands of Always Wanna Fly one more time? Most probably. Most probably. Be that 5 roll
Our struggle
on the
as
Phoenix.
artists isn't about appeasing the crowd.
So we'll see what Na'Vi will grab up for their position 1 to try and pair up with this Phoenix. Or pair up with the Io, because it's all been left open at the moment. The Slardar can easily pair up with either of these two heroes, so I think it's all going to completely depend on what Secret are going to solidly grab for their off lane. Mind you, they already know they're going to be paired up, going to be going up against the Earth Spirit, the Omni Knight and the Sven. Even so, Na'Vi, they're going to grab the Ice Stealer. So that's going to be their position 1. Can't just be locked down by the Superman. Sven come flying in, avoids all of the damage that comes out from the Leshrac as well. So it's quite a nice hero pickup so far. The only thing that's really going to be able to catch him out is the silence that's going to be coming out from the Earth Spirit. If Yapsor's going to be quick enough with the fingers to get those silences off. Maybe potentially we could see then the Life Stealer build like a Manta. Not an item you see too often in the hands of a Life Stealer, but it could still be. Get out of here talking about, yeah, that's what wrong sort of music for the drafting scenario. So, it looks like both, well, I was going to say both teams are after their mid laner, but it's still not exactly like it's guaranteed that this Lesh is going to be for the off lane in the hands of Zai, or if it's going to be flat out in the mid for Nisha. But they take away the Morphling, so Na'Vi are thinking that this is going to be a Zai Lesh paired up with the Earth Spirit. But maybe now that Secret have seen that the Leshrac's going to be going up against the Life Stealer in the off lane, they might just change their minds and probably put this Leshrac for Nisha in the mid and then grab something else for Zai perhaps. Someone who can try and stay solo, as the Earth Spirit's most likely going to be making a few rotations around the map. Not going to be there constantly to provide assistance for Zai. Potentially they could grab the Bat Rider, got that BKB piercing ultimate to try and drag him back into the lines of Secret and get a couple of ganks that way. Or maybe the Beastmaster, very similar strategy, get that BKB piercing stun, try and lock down the Life Stealer in these fights. stop him from just running havoc and destroying everyone inside of Secret. The Secret take away the puck and the Storm Spirit. So far, the only like key infest target on the side of Na'Vi is the Slardar at the moment. Once he gets that Blink Dagger online, we could potentially see the Snapfire come out. It's not something we've seen for quite a while, but the big Snapfire can come out, get that early Aghanim's online, and then the Lifestealer could infest into the Slardar and then get gobbled up by the Snapfire, and then you can have this two-man flying stun initiation. Whoever gets hit by that is pretty much guaranteed to die unless they manage to get like a BKB off in just in the nick of time. So that is the potential that could come out. Also, the Snapfire does lane pretty well against the Leshrac as well. Got high burst damage, which can abuse the low HP threshold on the Lesh. But instead, they're actually going for the Death Prophet. So it is pretty much just going to be all up to the General and the Slardar with the infested Lifestealer to be the key initiation so far for the side of Na'Vi. Maybe Secret after a similar thing. You've got the Earth Spirit who can initiate, but it can be quite risky for him to do so. But then you would have the assisted initiation of the Sven once he gets his Aghanims online. I think the Bat Rider or the Beastmaster for Secret. Because even the Bat can be put into the mid or the off lane, but I'm sure they're going to run this Lesh as the mid. It's just a little bit too difficult to go up against the Lifestealer as a Lesh. So, yeah, I think Bat Rider could be a good grab. Oh, never mind. They're going to go for a Razor. Okay. That's something you do not see very often at all. And it's actually going to be mid-niche, so they're still going to run this Leshrac in the off lane then. Going up against this Lifestealer. Ooh, this is going to be an interesting game. So once again, Secret's trying something new. Razor hero you do not see often at all. I remember they did swap around some of his skills a while ago. So when you tether people, or the static link, you're actually auto-attacking them at the same time as draining their damage, I think. So you can move and hit at the same time. It allows you to chase after people a little bit better. So we'll probably see like a weird little bit of shenanigans going on in the mid lane. Iceberg, we're going to be chucking out the Soul Assumption, draining the HP away from Nisha, and then Nisha's just going to static link onto Iceberg, draining away the damage. So it's going to be these two people with these skills where you don't want to get far enough away to break the distance, but then if you're too close, you're both just sort of doing weird stuff to each other. It's going to be a funny lane to watch. I mean, yeah, Nisha could probably... He probably will just skip the... I don't know, do you want to skip the static link? It's a very strong skill for the early portions of the game, so you can get it leveled up fast enough. Because I think your damage drain just carries on going even if the other person runs out of damage. So I think the maximum you can get is like 240, 260, something like that. Hang on, let me do some quick math once this game actually starts. Oh, I was even handy dandy pause. Gonna let me figure this out. So damage drain rate 22, link duration of 8 seconds. So 44 minus off the 220. Oh, so it's actually 178 damage that you can fully drain with a static link once it's max level. And you've got that for 18 seconds. So it's not as great as I remember it to be. But even still, we'll see what sort of build he is actually going to go. Especially seems how they changed the Razor. Does it still do that? Creates a link between Razor and enemy hero, stealing damage from the target and giving it to Razor. Razor allows Razor to attack whilst moving on the static link as well. So, okay, so we will still be able to have that. But I forgot that they actually got rid of the Storm Purge ability where it does AoE damage. And now it just goes back to its vanilla ability of just bonus movement speed. Which can be a little bit underwhelming. And that was like sort of the main picking point of Razor's like a patch or two ago. was the AoE damage that Storm Surge done. Just allowed you to farm up quite nicely as well, providing a bit of damage in team fights as well. So we'll see what the build is going to be from Nisha. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Looks like there's going to be 2 for 2 on the bounties. Always want to fly? Maybe thinking about going for the dive still? No, decides against it. It's just stood there. Just waiting. It's a very chill start to the game. No one going too crazy. So, Marty might struggle a little bit to farm up the sustain that comes out from an Io Slardar pairing. And especially once you get to probably about level 3 is the real strong period for the Io and Slardar. Gonna have that probably level 2 in Overcharge as well as the level 2 in Bash of the Deep. So you're really gonna be able to spam out those hits onto Martu, dealing a terrifying amount of damage and lockdown for these early parts of the game. But there is going to be the Heavenly Grace coming out from Puppey as well, just to try and actually mitigate the duration of all those stuns. Could be enough to actually turn the tables in that scenario. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, so it's actually still a pretty standard build there from Nisha. You got the static link. I mean, now Iceberg only hitting for 38 damage. Well, Nisha's hitting for 80. So it's going to be very easy for, in these scenarios, for Nisha to secure up a lot of the last hits and deniers. Now Iceberg's going to respond by using a channeling spell of his own, draining down Nisha, or even using the second Soul Assumption charge. Diving in tier 1 tower, needs to be a little bit more careful. Ooh, meanwhile down bottom, I missed that. Vichun end up getting the first blood there onto Zai. Something I was saying in the drafting phase, a Leshrac going up against a Lifestealer is pretty brutal. Just with the... Actually, he doesn't even have the rage yet. This is standard right clicks. Oh, that's really bad. That's really bad indeed. So as more levels start flowing into this Vichun, I think it's only just going to get worse with Zai down there. He's going to have to be a little bit more careful. Meanwhile, General and Roger still just being able to apply constant pressure onto Martu. Only a slight lead so far for Vichun in terms of actual CS between the position 1 roles, but even still, it's definitely going quite nicely for them. Vichun did go pretty low. We're just getting caught out by a quick little split earth. Split earth, yeah. It always annoys me when there's like a Leshrac and an Elder Titan in the same game. Just Leshrac spell with split earth and then Elder Titan's ultimate earth split. Can get very confusing at times. The roll forward there from Zapsol. They're going to keep a always want to fly stun lock for now. But even still, out. They just run out of damage source once all these abilities go on cooldown. He doesn't even need to bother diving away. Even still, just Nisha going for the 2-2-0 build, not bothering at all with the Storm Surge for now. Just going to heavily focus on going for lane dominance, and he's definitely getting that so far. 15 and 8 against Iceberg's 8 and 4, doubling both of the stats for CS that Iceberg has. I mean, it's always a difficult thing to try and lane up against. Like you're hitting for kitten level damage. Whenever you do get hit by a nice static drain. Ooh, Soul Assumption there from Iceberg onto the high ground. Does actually find open. Out comes the regen ring. Roger's going to try and lend a bit of helping hand here. Even body blocking up Nisha there, but Puppey's rotating around the side of himself. Iceberg's is too damn quick already with those brown boots activated online. So they don't actually find anything. Nisha's is too slow at this point. Even with the, especially going 0 points into Storm Surge. But even still, he actually ended up forcing Iceberg all the way back to base, despite the fact that Iceberg found regen rune, just immediately got cancelled out by Nisha.
I came a long way to see you die.
But V-Tunes, it just feels like he's got free farm down here, really. Especially seeing how now Yapzor's probably going to be focusing a little bit more time roaming around making stacks, perhaps. Just going to grab one of the bounties down bottom. Not going to find anything else for now. Marty, though, he's getting gone on by General and Roger, and there's nothing the puppet could do, already using the Purification and Heavenly Grace, and still that's not enough to actually keep Martu alive. Just the constant threat that comes out from the Slardar Io pairing is too much, and he still ends up falling. And now Zeiss is getting got on. He's going to be forced to go for a flat TP out. Just barely manages to make it out there. Now Yapzor is getting focused on. V-Tune just charging forwards. Already with the rage pop. Yapzor manages to get the kickback. Boys want to fly. Just dives all the way in there. Going to be able to get a couple more hits onto Yapzor. He's juking around the trees. He might be able to survive for now, especially with the tower assistance. The one final hit wasn't actually enough to bring him down. So Yapzor will manage to survive just barely. He's going for a damage drain. Despite the fact that Iceberg's already got the double damage rune activated, draining tons of it away. Now he's got plus 66. This double damage rune doesn't do anything. It's only turned into plus 15 rather than like plus 80, whatever it was. Ooh, 6-6-6-6. Just one too many sixes to be truly scary. But even still, he's just having a very nice time in this mid. Not exactly massively up there on CS, but definitely, when you compare it to Iceberg's CS, he's doing quite nicely. But V-Tune just all the way up there, 45-10, and Martu's is only 30-3. He's actually been forced to go into the jungle at level 4. Sure, he's managed to make a couple of stacks. Now he's gonna have his level 3 Great Cleave, so it's not gonna be as bad. But even still, it's quite. It's quite horrible for a Sven to be forced to go into the jungle at level 5 already. Sometimes when there's a few stacks made and he's level 6, it doesn't hurt too bad because you can just pop that God Strength and farm up all the stacks really quickly. But there's no stacks, there's no level 6, so this is going to be a relatively slow start for Martu this game. Going to be that window for Na'Vi to potentially make a few moves happen before this Sven comes online. I mean, V-Tune's already 1,000 gold ahead. This whole net worth lead for the entire team is purely between these position ones. It's got to be a little bit scary for the side of Secret. Meanwhile, Roger's been making plenty of stacks. He's just going to help Roger clear this one up. A load of bonus gold for him. And Rune ends up being an invis down bot lane. The thing is, it's not even like with Razor, you can't even go gank the safe lane onto the Lifestealer because, I mean, you try initiate onto the V-Tune, but he ends up just raging up. But never mind, Zai and Yapzor actually managed to find the kill to V-Tune no matter what. Was V-Tune, he was just short of his level 6, potentially could have gone inside a creep to survive. But it was still a very nice find there by Zai and Yapzor. Getting a very high profile kill, trying to delay out this Lifestealer's game. I mean, it has lessened the gap between him and Martu a little bit. Only 600 gold now rather than 1,000. The V-Tunes come straight back to this lane. But now that he's just actually rotated around with this Invis rune as well, we'll see if he's able to find anything. But as I was going to say, it's a little bit difficult to find the kill onto the Lifestealers. He can just infest up into a creep and run the hell out of there. I mean, sure, you can't dispel the static link, but even still, it can be quite annoying. I just saw move committed by Nisha just to farm up the camp. But Na'Vi realises he's here with this ward placement. Nisha's just using his ultimate to farm the creeps instead. Puppey's just trying to farm up the safe on his own. Pretty dangerous. But now General and Roger. My god. Puppey just melts once that Empower comes out from Roger there. With the Corrosive Haze on top. The super attack speed. Just the bashes come flying out. Nothing that the poor little Omni Knight could do. Ooh, Nisha. Ooh, he actually ends up dying in the mid. The double damage was just claimed there by Iceberg, giving them that tiny bit of bonus damage. Just enough to bring Nisha down. And plus with this Exorcism online, he's just going to start working onto this tier 1 tower as well. It's a nice move there by Iceberg. A few rotations going to come out from the side of Secret. Stop this happen. Puppey, you get in there first. But Iceberg, he doesn't care the fact that there's 2 heroes. The GA comes out plus to relocate from Roger and from the Sardar as well, trying to do as much work as they can. Egg comes down to the side, but Secret's not going to come anywhere near it. Roger ends up falling. Zai getting pretty low. The final couple of hits that come out from Iceberg is enough to finish him off. Even Martu ends up getting involved. We'll see if this is going to be enough to actually keep the tier 1 tower alive. The Absol goes for the roll out there, seeing as Iceberg was rolling straight for him. General's on the hunt now for Puppey. This should be a pretty easy kill to find. Now comes the Heavenly Grace. He's going to delay out the stuns. But Martu, he gets the quick grab onto Always Want to Fly. So nice grab there onto the support row all by himself. And that's actually going to be enough to force Na'Vi back. Sure, they lose Zai. I mean, this doesn't actually tell me anything, but Zai ended up dying. But they got the 2 return kills on both the supports on the side of Na'Vi. So it's probably somewhat worth it. Nisha was off farming down the bot lane, and Vichun was just off free farming as he's been doing this entire game. But that net worth difference between these position 1s has just been dropping more and more. It's now only 200 gold between Vichun and Martu. So Martu's doing a good job at recovering. But it is something you would expect from a Sven, obviously with just the built-in cleave assisting his farming speed. But now Armlet online for Vichun. He's going to probably start looking to get a little bit more involved with the rest of his team now and looking for kills. He's going to have that potential to do so much damage in the coming fights, especially with the Corrosive Haze coming out from General as well. His right click's going to hurt a damn lot. Rollful from Yapzor. He's going to get the grab onto Wizard Fly plus silent start. Ooh, the stun was miles off there by Zai. I don't think that could be any more off. Yapzor's not done yet. Oh, actually, I think maybe he thought he had a... he changed his mind. He did have Stone Realms to play with. He didn't want to get too greedy. Maybe rolling into the Phoenix who just pops the egg. Could be a little bit dangerous. But bot's now online for Nisha. And this is without any points into Storm Surge either. So we'll probably start to see his movement speed ramping up as he starts to get a couple more levels online. Yeah, they want to go for a quick jump into General. It's a very difficult kill to get, and they will decide against it. So it seems like it's just Yule Scepter's queued up around for the side of Secret. I thought maybe Zai was going to build one as well, seeing as how he's already got the Windlace, but sometimes it's worthwhile just grabbing the Siren for a little bit of passive speed boost bonus. Na'Vi on the hunt, immediately find the grab onto Zai. Melts super quick. Nothing you can do to survive that. Especially with the Blink Dagger uses there from General. Probably the good first debut of the item. Finding a nice kill onto Zai. Obviously, Martu or Nisha would have been more higher value, but kill onto the offlane is just as good. Now it looks like Nisha's going to try and work his way onto Iceberg here. It's going to be a little bit difficult as there are a few rotations coming out for the rest of Na'Vi. It's not going to be, and it would be enough to force Nisha to fall back. Doesn't want to get too greedy right now. Despite the fact that he's got plus 79 damage. Also building that Yules, just so he can static link someone, Yules them up into the air, and then basically get maximum damage drain. Down bottom. Looks like General and Roger trying to find the grab onto Martu. Martu's going to turn around. He gets the stun connection there onto Roger. Plus the roll forward from Yapzor as well. Finds the easy kill onto the Wisp. A little bit of space for Martu as well to carry on farming. This was the God Strength pop, but you know, it's a kill. It's a little bit of bonus gold and space for him to carry on farming. So it's a worthy usage. So still a relatively calm game. Vichune's not actually decided to get involved too much, even after finishing up that armlet. So just using it as like a slight little power spike deterrent. Stop Secret from maybe wanting to try and make any moves against him at this point in the game. We'll just sort of give him enough time to start firing up his next item, which will be that Manta style to purge off the silences on the side of the Secret. There, Na'Vi just going to roll straight into this Roche bait. They're going to pop the Exorcism with the Corrosive Haze on top. This Roche should die pretty quickly. I mean, the Corrosive Haze alongside with the Death Prophet as well, as the ghosts are all physical damage, makes it do even more. Just drops this Roshan pretty quick. So that will be Aegis into the hands of Vichune. Before it was difficult to get this kill before, it's going to be even more so now. Just feels like Nisha's sort of, I wouldn't say fallen off, but he doesn't really feel quite as threatening as he was in the laning phase. Maybe where he just couldn't really make too many rotations onto like the lifesteal or anything, so he's dropped quite far behind in terms of actual CS. General's still ahead of him for now, 600 gold difference. And even Vichune is once again 1k over the top of Martu. He's trying his best to farm up as quickly as he can. Even got the Axe queued up as his next item. Needs some way to actually get on top of the squishy heroes of Na'Vi. Manta online for Vichune as well. A little bit of bonus attack speed, movement speed, survivability, purge off effects. And now he's just going to use this little power spike to just force down this tier 1 tower. Oh. The glyph was a little bit late, guys. Oh wait, still. Okay, it still ended up counting as the first glyph though. So that's a little bit fortunate there for the side of Secret. There could have been the potential for Na'Vi to maybe move on a little bit further and start pressure onto the tier 2. Looks like Zai is now getting held down perfectly read there by General. Found the exact point of where Zai would try and be hiding. And this Leshrac is just so damn squishy, especially once you get a Slardar on top of him, reducing his armor even more. And this is just getting worse and worse for Secret. Now 4k gold behind. There's still only been 11 kills this entire game, but you can just really feel the fact that Na'Vi just are such in the driving seat. Looks like they will just start trying to force down this tier 2 tower. We'll see if Iceberg's going to pop the Exorcism, but the glyph is there from Secret to delay this push. Ooh, they even used the glyph on their own creeps. I don't think it's going to last long enough. Ooh, just about. Even the Sunray coming out from Always Want to Fly wants to just try and heal up Vichune and maybe just try and tank through the tier 2 tower. I thought maybe Iceberg might pop to his Exorcism to try and force this down. It's just going to give a little bit of time for Secret to try and make some sort of counterplay, and they have smoked up. They're going to try and wrap around their own jungle, knowing that Na'Vi's going to go for this outpost. And they will manage to get it. We'll see if Secret's able to punish this though. Maybe grab it back before the 20-minute mark. Still got another minute to play with. Holding down onto the low ground here. And Na'Vi, they did fall back this way. Heading further into Secret's jungle. Secret going to try and wrap around the top. Heading forwards in. Nisha, lead the charge. He's going to get the spot onto Always Want to Fly. He manages to get a dive backwards. Now Nisha with the double damage pop. Going to try and stand toe-to-toe against Iceberg. Iceberg's taking tons of damage. The Infest coming out with Vichune. Even Martu in the backlines tried to bring down Roger all on his own. Now he's just left completely abandoned from the rest of the Secret. All caught on the other side of the egg. Even Puppey just ended up getting snagged by the stun. And it looks like he will fall. Everyone else on the side of Secret. Ooh, Iceberg manages to get the grab there onto the Absol before he can get the blink away. But even still, General needs to be careful. There's a lot of right clicks coming out from Nisha right now. Hitting for 200 damage a hit. And even Iceberg's getting pretty low. Gotta be a little bit wary. But now V-Tune, he gets the open wounds onto Nisha. And look how much damage he does. Nisha just drops so quickly. Zai's just running in there. Trying to finish Iceberg. But the Exorcism is finished. He heals straight back up to full HP. And now Zai needs to get the hell out of there. I don't think he's going to be able to survive. Only one more hit needed. He just about gets in range. Even Yapzor, he's now caught out. He managed to get the finishing blow onto Roger at least. But it doesn't matter. That's a full team wipe onto Secret. Na'Vi getting what they wanted. They're not going to be able to push on to tier 3 despite the fact that they won the team fight directly outside of Secret's base. But just the respawn times are too low at this point. Oh! Oh! Whoops. A little bit of the flight slightly off the mark there for Wizard of Fly. Couldn't quite snatch that bounty away from the hands of Secret. But even still, that's a very minor victory for Secret there. They're like, we got the bounty. That's all we wanted. That's what that whole team fight up top was all about, right? Making space for bounty runes. Who knows? But even still, just Secret, they need to find the next team fight is really going to spell the doom for the rest of this game. If they lose the next Coven engagement, I just don't really see much of a way for them to try and bring themselves back into this game. Marty's going to have his Axe online pretty soon. So they will have that available for when the next team fight does happen. But even still, there aren't going to be any other sort of item timers. Yapzor's not going to be able to finish any item up. Zai, he's pretty close to having the Guardian Greaves up. Only 1,000 gold. It looks like the rest of Secret, they want to try and make a move down bot lane. They've got the vision onto General and Roger. And this is the Axe online for Martu as well. They get spotted out by this ward. So they realise that Martu comes into this area to start farming up. Even a BKB online for General as well. Relocate ended up going up top, tried to get a grab on Zanisha, but he's just too damn quick at this point. 531 passive movement speed. So difficult to try and lock down a Razor. Unless you can just stun lock him, of course. It's actually just using Eye of the Storm to farm. I might just try and go for like some sort of easy solo play onto V-Tune, forces him to TP out of there. I think even V-Tune realises how powerful this Razor is at this point. Trying to solo up. Oh, meanwhile, Zai, he's getting focused on by General. He's getting healed up and the damage protection coming out from Puppey. Just enough to keep him alive. Meanwhile, Martu comes flying in there trying to re-engage. But there's the BKB pop from General. Avoids himself getting stunned. And now Martu just needs to run away. But General, he's not letting up. He gets to jump forward. Gets the initial stun onto Martu. With this bonus attack speed, these bash stacks are coming up so damn quickly. Martu's going to change his mind. Focus down towards Wizard of Fly. And manages to burn down the position 5 Phoenix really quickly. But now General's put himself into a real dire situation. Martu's just carrying on fighting. He's not quite laying up just yet. Nearly gets the grab onto General. He blinks down onto low ground. But Iceberg's just wrapped around from behind. There's nowhere left for Martu to run. Oh, he's actually got off to the side. And with the storm out down to low ground, what happened? V-Tune, everyone on the side of Na'Vi just ran completely the wrong direction. And that gives enough time for Matumban to get the hell out of there. I think they just thought that someone else was going to finish him off. They were going to swap their targets and get the kill onto Puppey. Big mistake there from Na'Vi, letting the position 1 of Secret survive. Live to tell another tale. I mean, I think if Martu died there, then Na'Vi probably could have just carried on pressure onto taking away the tier 2, maybe a little bit of tier 3 damage as well. So a little bit unfortunate there, possibly just miscommunication amongst the team. Once again, V-Tune just does not care about tower damage. Oh, relocate coming in. General's trying to focus down Nisha. And he relocates him, but it's not needed. General just solo kills Nisha at this point. Did Nisha not have Static Link online? He did. Why did he not use it? Must have been on cooldown for something else. But yeah, so it looks like he tried to get the initiation on grab onto Wizard on the fly. But now he's just getting focused up himself. Fuels up into the air before he can get the roll away. Nice block though, there by Iceberg, making sure the Yapzor can't retreat just yet. Even the sides keep him in place. Out comes the Nullifier. No place left for Yapzor to run. And he falls as well. So just kills across the board for Na'Vi. The Secrets is in complete disarray. Chipping away at the tier 2. No glyph available for the side of Secret to keep this tower alive. Nisha's up in 8 seconds, and Yapsol's only 20 seconds away, so Navi's probably not going to be able to push on to the tier 3. But even still, it's just small victory after small victory. That's all they need at this point. They don't need to go for any sort of like grand statement and a big finale just yet. Just chipping away at Secret's working for now. So BKB nearly up for Nisha. Will provide a little bit of extra survivability, but there's still going to be the right-click bashes from General that can pierce through that magic community and just keep him locked down in place. And that's not as hard as it seems, especially when there's going to be Roger just constantly providing an attack speed buff. But Roshan's now up. Na'Vi going to see their opportunity to move in there once again. He's going to use the Exorcism. I don't think they needed the Exorcism here. They probably could have taken it without it. Even still, they will just make sure that they're going to get that Roche for free. Cheese in Iceberg's hands. VTune takes the Aegis. They're not going to be able to make any sort of move happen with the rest of Sexism. It's going to run out before they really get to any sort of advantageous position. So I definitely think he should have held on to that. I'm not entirely sure why he used that for the Aegis. Get a little bit ahead of himself, perhaps. So Na'Vi, they're going to have to wait another 100 seconds for this Exorcism to be online. It is a key ability in the use in the coming team fights. Does a lot of damage, as well as there's a little bit of fear factor as well that comes with the Exorcism. Just this big whirling whirlpool of damage that comes out from the side of Na'Vi once that is online. Unless you can somehow burst the Death Prophet quick enough. That's not the easiest task in the world. Yeah. Is the static link damage dispellable? I know it says it cannot be dispelled, but I thought that's just the static link itself can't be dispelled. I'm not sure if the damage can be. The Relocate coming out, heading down to the bottom. Marty trying to stand his ground against General. But in comes VTune and Roger on the backlines. Nice silence there from Yapsor. Not going to be too much done yet, but yeah. Matumban finally gets the kill onto General, but it doesn't matter. The egg pops. He's going to get bad. Oh, he's still alive! He's trying to do as much damage to Roger before he blocks. He actually manages to get the kill before he ends up falling down. The rest of the Secret is coming to try and lend a helping hand. Zyd's just getting hunted down by Iceberg and VTune. Will get slowed up by the open wounds. And VTune's just going to abandon the chase, thinking that Iceberg will be able to finish it. And surely enough, he does. Oh, wait, hang on. Wait, Roger didn't die. The relocate just ended. He went back. Oh, never mind. I thought Martu just got one final little act before he ended up dying, but nope. Roger survives. Another little kick in the teeth there against Secret. Still Aegis and Cheese in the hands of both the two cores on Na'Vi. No glyph available, so VTune's just going to be happily sieged away at this tier 3 tower. The break gets the stack link gets immediately broken. So hardly any damage drained. Well, actually 50 still, but it doesn't matter. He's still got another like 200 to play with. VTune just chipping away at the barracks now. But there is still the members of Suko respawning pretty soon. Martu's up in 8 seconds. So maybe Na'Vi is going to try and get this Meteorax and then fall back. Given the silence, they're going to try and control VTune up. Now comes the Manta Silence. He's going to be able to retreat. Where's the Infest onto Iceberg and try to get him out, but there's still General gets reinitiated. Zyd blows up immediately. Now Nisha just has to run away. The Exorcism doing way too much damage. The final right click comes out, finishes him off. Now Puppy just getting focused down by VTune. No way for the position 5 to survive that onslaught. Even Yapsor gets caught out by the All Scepter and the silence up. He's going to fall in. Martu just gets re-involved. Nice 3-man stun, but it doesn't matter. BKB comes up with General and immediately stuns him back. Nothing that Martu can do to hold his ground. And GG is called by Secret. Incredible showing there by Na'Vi, destroying Secret in this best of 3, taking it 2-0. Well played there by them. It just seemed like in both games, Secret just were really lacking options about what they could do in these fights. It just felt like they were a little bit outdrafted. Just Secret didn't really have the utility to try and combat what Na'Vi had on their own side. Despite the fact that they had the Omni Sven combo, something which is super potent and has worked really well in the past, it just didn't provide enough this game. And Na'Vi, they just took it. That's all that can really be said. Just, they took the series. Very nice play there by them. Well-deserved victory. I don't think Secret was quite expecting for there to be that much of a dominant showing coming out from Na'Vi. I don't think anyone else was really expecting it either. But even still, Na'Vi provided a very entertaining game there, just dismantling Secret in that second game. The first game was a little bit more even, but even still, that second one was 100% one-sided. You did call Na'Vi? I always call Na'Vi. No, I'm joking. But even still, if you guys enjoyed this game, hopefully you stick around for the next series, which will be Liquid versus Enigma, coming up in about half an hour if you're watching live, or if this is on YouTube, you can swap straight over to that. So, no need for you guys to wait. But even still, hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys for future games. Thanks for watching that video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it and the content I was able to provide. I am just starting out, so if you did like it and you want to support me in the future, then please think about following and subscribing to me on Twitch, Twitter and YouTube. I post on Twitter what events I plan on covering in the future and when I'm actually able to do some casts. I don't have the most free time in the world, unfortunately, so I can't provide constant content, but I can guarantee you every single time that I do cast, I'm giving it my all because I have a lot of passion for it, and hopefully that does come off. So once again, hopefully you guys enjoyed it and you stick around for the next video. So hopefully I see you guys there. Cheers.